Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Good Friday. How is everybody today? Everybody good? Everybody good? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, made it through the week. Easter weekend. Woot woot. And glad you're here. Oh, smokes. How are you? Oh, there we go. Something just went wild there for me. So I'm glad you're here. Hope that you are doing well on this Good Friday morning. Looking for a great weekend. There's a lot going on. There's much going on. Don't forget, we'll talk about that. Anyway, we'll get to it. Hey, my name is Nick Stewart. This is Sunrise Santa Rosa. Welcome to the program. I'm glad you're here. Thank you to Milton Post for hosting and everybody that shares it. I know Jernigan Landon does a lot with us, and we appreciate that a bunch. And Rusty, tell Miss Pam we are praying for her. Glad she's doing well, and appreciate what she did. All right, guys. The telephone number to call is 850-771-0049, and we'll talk to you again. Cardinal rule. This is the main rule when you're texting. No pronouns. All right, your forecast for today. Sunny, high near 64, winds around 20 miles an hour. Tonight, clear skies, low near 40. Tomorrow, sunny along with a few clouds, high near 68, and might as well give you Easter. Sunny and 73. All right, presently it's 40 in Milton, 46 Gulf Breeze, 41 the Bar, 42 Pensacola. It's cool outside this morning, my friends. Wear a jacket. All right, let's get started, shall we? We got a lot to do today. We got some very important video to show you. I don't have the video from the border wall yesterday where they dropped the kids over the wall. We'll show you that. And an update from one of the border agents. So we'll do that as well. All right, let's get started. 850-771-0049 is the number to call. And I want to talk to you today. So I do want to tell you about weekend's effect. Oh my gosh. Let me start again. I want to tell you about some events going on this weekend. Tonight is Bands on the Blackwater. New Blue is going to be there. Hope to see you all there. It's going to be cool, dressed nicely, warmly, but it should be a good time tonight, and would love to visit with you, so come up and look for me. All right? I'd love to talk to you. All right. Also, tomorrow is an ginormous Easter egg hunt. 50,000 eggs. 50,000 eggs. But the kind of events start about 10 a.m. over at the Imogene Theater. The Refuge Church is going to have some events, bounce houses, barbecue, things like that, a band. And so should be a good time all weekend. And then, of course, go to church on Easter. Resurrection Sunday. We are celebrating the resurrection of our Savior, and encourage you to find a church to go and have a good time. All right. Good to have you with us today. Hello, everybody. All right, let's get started, shall we? Thursday morning, the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office confirmed to Channel 3 that the human remains found in Munson over the weekend was 14-year-old Cody Walker. Sheriff Bob Johnson can't release at this time exactly how he was killed, but says the autopsy confirmed it was definitely a homicide. I'm very optimistic this case is going to come to a close very quickly, which means they know. Yeah, they know. I can't tell you exactly what's going on, but we do have people we're interested in reference to the homicide. Walker was last seen on March 14th, but it wasn't until 5 days later that his family reported him missing. So this is good news intermixed with the bad news. So that they do have suspects that they think that they're going to wrap this up pretty quickly. Terrible stuff. I know you hate to see that in somebody so young, but they'll get them taken care of. The Florida Department of Transportation released an update on the progress of the Pensacola Bay Bridge recovery efforts on Thursday. FDOT says that contractors have completed the demolition and pile driving at Pier 70 and are preparing the site for placement of the new trophy piece. The target date of reopening remains the week of May 31st. According to FDOT, they're also working to improve the detour route on State Route 281 in Santa Rosa by extending the southbound right turn lane on State Road 281 at US 98 and installing a temporary traffic signal on Garcon Point Road. And they're going to do that by April 5th. Now, that seems, how long have you been without this? How long have we been without this? 5 months? 6 months? That seems a little excessive after the fact. Why wasn't this done earlier? Why wasn't there? What this tells me is that they're not confident in May 31st. They're not confident in May 31st. They are going, I know. I concur. Why, if this case, May 31st, it seems to me that this extra stuff, the temporary traffic signal, the extra whatever, improve the detour route, extending the southbound right turn lane. It just seems they don't have confidence in this date at all. Just saying. They're waiting on seeing who is going to pay for it. The bondholders from the Garcon Point Bridge. But which Christmas, Kim? You could say Christmas. It'll be done at Christmas time. And that's good, or Thanksgiving. It doesn't make a difference because we don't have to say which one. 850-771-0049. An elderly woman crashed her car. Check this out. This happened yesterday. So weird. An elderly woman crashed her vehicle through the front of the Milton Post Office on Thursday afternoon. Milton Police Chief Tony Tyndall told the News Journal that no bystanders or post office employees were injured in the crash. It remained unclear as of 1:15 Thursday if the woman had suffered any injuries, but she was not just transported to the medical facility. She just hit the gas instead of the brake. That's all, Tyndall said. That's all? She just... Now, I don't know. It just says elderly woman. It doesn't say how old she was. And I wonder if her turn signal was still on. That's a valid question. Was her turn signal still on? You want to know in Northwest Florida, in Santa Rosa and Escambia, if you want to know if somebody is too old to drive, their turn signal's on. That's how you know they're too old to drive, if their turn signal's on. Someone went postal, is what I said yesterday. Drive-through service. I know. But you can tell if they're over the age of driving, their turn signal's on. There's uphill at a curb to jump to get up there. Well, she did it. She went all the way in. You probably couldn't get any further in than what she did. She buried it in there. Everybody's okay. That's the good thing. Everybody is fine. You got to love that aspect of it. A teacher at Booker T. Washington was arrested earlier this week for allegedly beating and raping a woman. That's something you want around your kids. James McCoy, 37, was arrested Monday and charged with 2 counts of battery, 1 count of sexual battery. He's booked to the Escambia County Jail with a $106,000 bond. County records indicated that McCoy remained in custody as of Thursday. He worked as a social studies teacher. Irony. Booker T. Washington High School before his arrest. He's been suspended from the school district. So I don't get people. Truly don't get people. They just... I don't know. They didn't need the door there on the post office anyway. I know. Rusty wants to know, was she wearing a mask? I don't know. The report did not say. Good question, though. A Milton man is charged with having a sexual relationship with a minor for almost 2 years. These people. This doofus. Randall Earl Bullock, 36, is charged with 6 counts of unlawful sexual activity with certain minors. That's the way it's stated, certain minors. He was arrested Wednesday. He's being held in Santa Rosa County Jail without bond. What is it that they have to say certain minors? So other minors would be okay, but certain minors are not? I don't understand the statement. The number of Escambia County hospitalizations due to COVID has gone down. The numbers have steadily dropped. It's had its lowest levels since last June. The number of people hospitalized due to the virus on Wednesday, on Wednesday was 23, after a low count of 22 in recent days. In mid-January, the number reached a high of 291. So the numbers are going down. On the pronouns. The certain minors must have been way underage. I don't know. You got to figure it out. But the COVID cases, hospitalization, are going down. When Baldwin County students return from spring break, they'll no longer be required to wear masks. That's according to Eddie Tyler, the school superintendent. He said Thursday. When we come back from spring break, masks will no longer be required in Baldwin County public schools. We're following Governor Ivey's directives to accept more personal responsibility over government mandates. Will not be requiring masks. Masks will certainly be allowed to be worn if they want to. The public schools will still have 6 weeks remaining after the spring break. He said the school district has seen no reported outbreaks of flu this year or reported outbreaks of stomach viruses. They'll still be sanitizing and all that stuff, and no major groupings, but that's good. Sex activity with certain minors means a 16, 17-year-old and not a Jessica Lunsford qualifying sex offender. I don't know what that means. It is good news that they don't have to wear masks after the spring break. I think I understood that's what you're referring to. New details are emerging regarding Congressman Matt Gaetz. The New York Times reports Rep. Gaetz had indicated, and an indicted Florida politician recruited women for sex online, paid using cash apps. Gaetz's camp issued a statement stating he never paid for sex. CNN's also reporting the congressman showed nude photos and videos of women he slept with to other lawmakers while on the House floor. But they didn't state which ones. They didn't state who those sources were. CNN sources say Gaetz showed lawmakers the images on his cell phone and allegedly talked about having sex with the women. But they didn't state who it was. So it's easy to do anonymous sources. They need to drop yes, mask mandate need to go away. You mean Governor DeSantis? What is leadership isn't causing thousands? No, they're withholding that from you, Jeff. They don't want you to know. They're underreporting the numbers, Jeff. Don't you know that? Mm-hmm. So local politicians are talking to Channel 3 about Northwest Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz and his problems. I'm going to believe Congressman Gaetz, said Rep. Alex Andrade, who represents Florida House District 2. Phil Ayer, who ran against Gaetz in 2020 and lost. He lost. And by a lot, I think, is calling for Gates' resignation. I believe he should resign now because he's so distracted by his television career. He's so distracted by this now that he has no time for us, Ayer said. He needs to make time for his constituents. Can you say sore loser? And Phil Ayer, I interviewed him at WEBY. What a windbag. Windbag. Ayer adds, this is part of a pattern of misconduct he's seen from Gates. What misconduct have you seen from Gates? If you had, look, Phil Ayer is the kind of guy, if he had any misconduct about Gates, he would have shared it. He may have had suspicions about something, but he doesn't have anything. He's a moron. Now, listen, Jason. And then, look, and let's face it, some of the Republicans hate him too. But look, if it's true, we need to wait and see what happens. Now, I think Alex Andrade went too far and said, I support Matt Gaetz. Well, we do support Matt Gaetz. If it's true, we need to let it play out. Here is what I'm seeing. So you've never seen anything, Jason, I know. Donna says it's all set up. His dad wore a wire in investigation, federal courts, federal cops. Yep. I heard anonymous sources have proof Congressman Gates had an affair with an underage Martian. That could be. All right, listen. What is the thing that sticks out to me is the speed with which things are coming out, right? Now, that kind of tells me it's kind of set up. This all came about right after Matt stood up in the House and berated them for their attack on Trump. And the impeachment and all that stuff. And they vowed to get him. And I think it could be one of those things. Now, could it be true? Well, maybe. But I think what evidence they have right now points that it's not true. They have documentation from the FBI that his father wore a wire trying to snag these guys. So there is that. You've got Matt Gaetz' official travel records. You've got that. So the evidence points that it's not true, but we'll see. Meanwhile, Governor Cuomo remains in office. Run that around in your brain. All this news is too convenient. Yeah. And that's what they always do. They always go that route. The left has no other play but to try to drum up stuff about impropriety from sex acts. And and because the Republicans a lot of times go, well, they need to step down. But the Democrats don't do that. It's pretty obvious that the Democrats are trying to get rid of Matt Gaetz. They always attack and smear Republicans and ignore the smooth over Democrats. Yeah, that's what I said. You've got Cuomo still in office, which shows how stupid they are. Without Trump, it seems like Matt is mainstream media's new target. We will see. He's so obsessed with he's distracted with his television career. Phil Ayer. A bill making its way through the Florida legislature would expand penalties for written threats to include social media posts. The bill's sponsor says it's essential to keep up with the changing times, but some lawmakers are raising concern whether the threat is written or typed out and posted to social media. The penalty in Florida could still be the same. If there's real and true threat, we want to be able to investigate and potentially bring charges. That's according to Senator Keith Perry from Gainesville. Now, how do you measure that? If someone's just being like, I could kill them. It's one of those sarcastic things. I want to punch you in the neck. All right. It's one of those stated things, but I could kill them, but not real. At what point do you measure that? Border Patrol on Wednesday released a shocking video of smugglers abandoning a 5-year-old girl and a 3-year-old girl at the border. Here it is. We find that video. All right. It's pretty wild. Check this out in case you have not seen it. Here you go. There's no audio, so I can talk over it. But this is the here they go. They're dropping them. Here's the coyotes. This is a child dangling. You see a little bit dark there. That's because it's this negative image. Here you go. There it is. And watch as the child drops. That's the 3-year-old. That's quite a drop. Now, the child is stunned. Look, the child is stunned. It's barely moving. What just happened to me? And here comes the other one. Whoop. Boom. And it bounced. That one bounced. Throws something over. There you go. There's some cookies. And he takes off. There's 2 of them taken off. Now, these kids are left there. They are left there as these morons go on. Now, this also came up. Okay, this was one of the Border Patrol agents on Cavuto yesterday. Let me get rid of this so you can see what's going on. And here's that interview.
2 girls, they're sisters. Oops. One's 5 years old. The other one is 3 years old. They're both doing fine. I visited with them at our central processing center the morning after, and they're just so resilient. Children in general, so resilient, but I was really horrified and appalled and worried when I first saw the images come through from my staff, when I saw that first child drop to the ground, and then not see her move for a few seconds. I honestly thought this child just probably hit her head and is unconscious, and then I see the second child. And immediately agents, obviously within a few minutes, responded to that area to rescue them. But I tell you, the next day when I visited with these little girls, they were so loving and so talkative. Some of them were asking the names of all the agents that were there around them. And they even said they were a little hungry, so I helped them peel a banana and open a juice box and just talk to them. Children are just so resilient, and I'm so grateful that they're not severely injured or even broken limbs or anything like that.
So the girls are fine, and they were talking, wanting to know people's names. Who's this agent? Who's that one? And they're good. The problem is their parents. What kind of parent sends a 3-year-old and 5-year-old with strangers across the border? They help them peel a banana. They're 3 and 5. They can't peel a banana. But yeah, so they're just little girls. They're just little girls. But it is, I will tell you, I agree, Jeff. This should just be a campaign video. It should be a campaign video. Joe Biden is fine with leaving children stranded, dropped over the wall. He's fine with that. And he and Kamala Harris, this is their policy. This is what, and just show the cramped quarters on the border towns. Show them these cages. We just show it on a loop and show him stuttering and stammering and reading. Oh, where's my card that has my name on it? That kind of stuff. Bad parents do this to their kids. Yes, they do. And that's what happens. Elizabeth, I said the same thing. Now, maybe not on the other side, because that could cause an issue. But the guy sitting on the fence, kapow, right in the brain. Yep. Shot him right in the melon. That was my thing. I know. But listen, when you've got Joe Biden doing what he's doing, you're going to have that problem. 850-771-0049. Oh, this is cool. This is very, very cool. Sisu, a 1-year-old male dog, tried multiple times to go into a Dollar General and steal a stuffed unicorn. He saw it, wanted it. I don't know how he figured it was in there, but he kept going in, and it kept attempting to steal this toy. So many times that animal control was called on the dog. The officer who responded to the call purchased the unicorn for Sisu, made sure he could have it at the shelter. The county's animal services posted news on Facebook. It's gone viral and prompted tons of reaction from dog lovers everywhere. This is what happens when you break into the Dollar General consistently to steal the purple unicorn that you laid claim to, but then get animal control called to lock you up for your B&E and larceny, but the officer purchases your item for you and brings it with you. The dog has since been adopted. The shelter also shared another post featuring several bags of pet food that was donated by Dollar General to help feed the many other animals in need of homes. I think that's awesome. Look at that. That's cool. And there's several other pictures of Sisu with this animal. Just okay, I froze. But several other pictures with Sisu with the stuffed animal. Very nice. Cute. 850-771-0049. Yeah, he's been adopted, got a forever home. Everything's good. It is a pretty puppy. But yeah, isn't that hilarious? And he just kept going in and trying to steal. I don't know how he saw it or knew it was there, but he kept going in and just kept trying to steal that one. He wanted that one. That's hilarious. Dogs are funny. 850-771-0049. Oh, this is crazy. So this is a video of a school bus, and this happened yesterday. Check this out. Here you go. That's a deer. That's a deer. So they're driving down the road, and this deer comes out in the road and jumps before the front of the bus hits it, and it comes right through the windshield, comes over the barrier here, right by my little picture window, and there's a kid right there in that seat. And that deer gets in the seat with that little boy. And he's evidently asleep. The boy's evidently asleep. And the deer jumps around and gets it, and they let it out. And the little boy, you can hear him on the video say, "I'm trying to sleep, dog." Nobody was hurt. Everything turned out all right. But that is some crazy video. You're the bus driver go, "What the hell?" But that is absolutely hysterical. Look at that.
I was trying to sleep, dog.
I was trying to sleep, dog. You can laugh because everybody's okay. No, that's some pretty wild stuff. I would have yelled at the deer, "This is why we shoot you." Pretty crazy, pretty wild stuff. You never know. All right. An Ohio woman was arrested on Thursday after she allegedly texted her sister that an active shooter was at a plant where she worked in Springfield. An April Fool's joke gone wrong. Multiple agencies responded to Navistar assembly plant after the woman's sister called 911 to report the shooting. Basically, she called her sister and said something to the effect of, "A guy was fired yesterday and has come back in with a gun. We're all hiding in a locked office," and asked her to call the police. Clark County Sheriff's Office Major Chris Clark said. The woman, identified as Pamela Cisco, 57, will be charged with disrupting public service and inducing a panic. She put a lot of people in danger today over a stupid joke. The sheriff's office said multiple 911 calls in came over the claim. What are you, 12? A 57-year-old woman doing something stupid like that. I'm sure she doesn't have a job today. How dumb do you have to be? April Fool's jokes. Are you 12? Mercy. I know 12-year-olds with better brains than that. This will make you feel good. A professor of theology at Baptist Studies at Duke University Divinity School says that a social media post in which he called evangelical Christianity the greatest threat to human existence was taken out of context. Yeah. Worse, evangelical Christianity is the greatest threat to human existence today. It must be laid waste. He deleted the tweet. The professor was responding to another user on Twitter. Freeman told Breitbart News that his tweet was hyperbole. The epitome of hyperbole. It was hyperbole statement referring to the extreme, militant, and radical expression of Christianity that led to the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol. But it was taken out of context. It refers to the need for evangelical churches to counter this extreme and violent ideology through teaching and correction. While Freeman deleted the tweet, the professor later took to social media to explain why he is concerned about white American evangelical culture, which he claims is fundamentally rooted in the belief that black lives don't matter, among other things. Thanks for calling out my excessive rhetoric. Let me try to be more clear. I'm concerned about the white American evangelical culture that's focused on 5 fundamentals. Guns are good, vaccines are bad, science is bunk, news is fake, black lives don't matter. These are dangerous. And so white evangelicals are the greatest threat to human existence today. You took it out of context. No, I think we got the context. I think you were quite clear in your context. I don't think that is out of context at all. That is a professor of theology. Oh my gosh. As vaccinations become more widely available for people in the United States and travel starts picking up, many people have started sharing their simple white vaccination cards on social media as prized new possessions. With some destinations, cruise lines, and venues already requiring travelers to provide proof of vaccination against COVID-19, keeping that record is key. In New York, for example, proof of vaccination or recent negative test will be required for entry into large venues or catered events when they're allowed to reopen at reduced capacity on Friday. Proof will be required at events with more than 100 people, so anyone having a wedding or Sweet 16 with more attendees will have to ask guests for evidence that they're complying with the rules. There are already a number of vaccination passport initiatives underway that would make vaccination status easy to share digitally. Clear, a biometric screening program used in airports across the country, and the technology company IBM have created their own passes, for instance. And last week, New York became the first state to introduce digital tool to allow people to easily show that they've either tested negative or been inoculated against the virus in order to gain entry to some events and venues. CNN medical analyst Dr. Leanna Wen warned that Biden administration that they have a very narrow window for inoculating as many people as they can to COVID-19 as states begin lifting coronavirus restrictions, urging that messaging should tying vaccinations to Americans' freedoms. So your vaccination is tied to your freedom. Check this out.
There are many more people, millions of people who, for whatever reason, have concerns about the vaccine, who just don't know what's in it for them. And we need to make it clear to them that the vaccine is the ticket back to pre-pandemic life. And the window to do that is really narrowing. I mean, you were mentioning, Chris, about how all these states are reopening. They're reopening at 100%. And we have a very narrow window to tie reopening policy to vaccination status. Because otherwise, if everything is
tie reopening policy to vaccination status.
Then what's the carrot going to be? How are we going to incentivize people to actually get the vaccine? So that's why I think the CDC and the Biden administration needs to come out a lot bolder and say, if you're vaccinated, you can do all these things. Here are all these freedoms that you have. Because otherwise, people are going to go out and enjoy these freedoms anyway. And I fear a situation of coming into the fall where we never reach herd immunity. And then we get hit by the next surge of COVID-19 in the fall, something that we could have prevented if we just got people vaccinated now.
Okay. So people are going to enjoy all these freedoms without the vaccine. So we've got to tie your freedoms to the vaccine. You can't go out. You can't go shopping. You can't go to events. You can't travel. You can't do anything without this vaccine. You don't have any freedom unless you get the vaccine. That's what they've got to do, she says. Whoa. It is communism. It is communism. Frightening. Absolutely frightening. Nothing to do with illness, only freedoms. Yes, Mike. You are not wrong. Americans have been so conditioned to fear socializing that even the notion of being fully vaccinated is not bringing them comfort, which is not surprising considering repeated warnings from medical experts like Dr. Anthony Fauci that vaccinated people need to continue social distancing and wearing masks. As a matter of fact, Dr. Fauci is wearing 2 or 3 masks, even though he's been vaccinated. Why? I don't know. A new poll from the Washington Post showed just how ingrained that feeling of fear has become. Most Americans are still afraid to attend a sporting event. Even if every single attendee has been vaccinated, a large share are still too scared to attend. Overall, the survey revealed only 42% of Americans feel comfortable attending a ticketed event. What if the event is held outdoors like a baseball game? Well, only 2/3, 66%, feel okay about attending. That number drops to 32% if it's held indoors. So what if the stadium capacity is limited? Just 50% of people are comfortable in stadiums that are 50% capacity. If the capacity is limited to 20%, then 69% are okay with attending. They've gotten the fear for some. On Wednesday, the WHO updated its guide on therapeutics in COVID-19. Under ivermectin, I guess, the meta-analysis shows that 81% drop in mortality among those who used the medicine as opposed to a standard care. It also shows 64% decrease in hospitalization. Nonetheless, the WHO refuses to endorse it because it claims the confidence level is low. The issue with ivermectin is that based on initial study and current available data, it's not strong enough for us to advocate the use of ivermectin for treatment of COVID or prevention of COVID. Wait a minute. What about the vaccine? You didn't even have a study on that, but this ivermectin is working. It's based on an initial study and currently available data. It's not strong enough for us to advocate the use for COVID prevention. Okay, that using it without strong evidence is harmful since it would give false confidence to the public. What is that vaccine? False confidence to the public. Gee, it sounds a lot like telling people if they wear a mask, they won't get COVID. In total, there have been 49 studies, 26 of them randomized controlled trials showing that the medicine works against the virus. The pooled results show an 80% improvement when used early, 89% when used as a prophylaxis, and even 50% improved at late stages. It works. It works. It's got a higher percentage of effectiveness than the vaccine. And yet the vaccine is being pushed and endorsed. You must take it. There's no need to fear it. And this has data behind it, and they won't use it. Why? Because it's not the vaccine. Hey, It's used as a preventative. It can be used during the sickness or before the sickness, but they don't want to use it because it's not the vaccine. A Thursday report from CNN. Good news, good news, good news. The Pfizer vaccine is good for at least 6 months. 6 months. 6 months. The Pfizer vaccine is good for at least 6 months. You are doing well, my friends. Are you going to have to get a vaccine every 6 months? What is that going to do long term? Cancer? Is it going to cause your DNA to unravel? They don't know what the one shot does, let alone what multiple shots will do. You are going to have to get vaccinated all the time. It will last at least 6 months. Woo! Wow. It's more than 91% effective against disease with any symptoms for a minimum of 6 months after its second dose. The company's also announced that the vaccine appears to be fully effective against the B.1.351 variants. In a joint, see, they just gloss over the 6 months. They gloss over the 6 months. Wow, people. Wake up. 6 months. 6 months. Oh, Governor Whitmer lashed out at Michigan Republicans over their proposed changes to the state voting laws during an interview on Thursday. Viewers spotted a pillow in the background. Check this out. Look over her. I'm going to get this out of the way so you can see. Look over her shoulder. Not the love, the other shoulder. Look over her right shoulder to the left of your screen. Check it out. Check it out.
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, this is what we're seeing. I think, 43 states across the country, we have got Republican legislation that's moving to make it harder for people to vote. We just came through a historic free.
That picture, that pillow, as she is touting her COVID stuff, which she's been a failure, but that's Dr. Fauci, his face on a pillow. That's Dr. Fauci's face on a pillow. You can get it online for $32. Why would you want Dr. Fauci's face on a pillow? I don't. That's what Whitmer's doing. Yeah. Crazy. Bill Bly. Vaccine already bypasses and kills natural immune system. I don't know, but it's not effective. Okay. I knew what you meant, El Cuco. I knew you meant I got you. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki furthered the president's criticism of Georgia's new voting law, even after a fact check determined that this line of attack was false. President Biden had claimed that Georgia's law blocked people from providing vendors with food or voters with food and water while they stood in line. He also accused Republican-led state of ending voting at 5 p.m. when people were just getting off work. Georgia's law actually standardizes what's considered normal business hours to mean 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but still allowed counties to extend their voting hours to as early as 7 a.m. and as late as 7 p.m. It also allows poll workers to provide self-service water from an unattended receptacle within 150 feet, but prohibits people from actively distributing food and drink within that distance. On Thursday, Psaki didn't back down from Biden's comments, but defended them. It standardizes the ending of voting early day at 5, right? Psaki said to Fox Business' Edward Lawrence. It just gives options. It gives options to expand it, right? But it standardizes it at 5. It also makes it so that outside groups can provide water or food to people in line, right? So you could take water to somebody who's standing in line that you know. But you can't hand out water that says vote and say vote for Joe, vote for Joe. That you cannot do. It's not going to change anything. It just keeps it from being expanded to like 2 a.m. That kind of thing. The Washington Post gave Biden 4 Pinocchios for his claim about voting times. The Georgia House of Representatives voted on Wednesday to strip Delta Airlines of a tax break that was worth tens of millions of dollars in response to CEO Ed Bastian's condemnation of Georgia's recently passed voting reform law. Georgia's bill, which has been the subject of widespread disinformation and lies about prominent Democratic politicians, has provoked calls for boycotts of Georgia-based corporations by civil rights activists. They've argued that these companies should do more to speak out against the law. In a statement, Bastian echoed the widely repeated talking point that could make it harder for many Georgians, particularly those in our Black and brown communities, to exercise their right to vote. In fact, the bill expands early voting and voting hours and generally made it easier for people of all races to vote in person. He condemned the law, stating, "I need to make it crystal clear that the final bill is unacceptable and does not match Delta's values." He further promised that Delta would work to support federal legislation that would overturn many of the reforms passed by Georgia's legislature. So fine. They go fine. They decided that all those tax breaks, tens of millions of dollars in tax breaks that they're giving to Delta, are gone. Now, they adjourned their session before taking up consideration of the measure. So the bill's dead for now, but they are looking at it. Now, listen, you wanna talk smack? You're going to pay for it. The same state that gives you millions, tens of millions of dollars in tax breaks, you're going to talk trash about? Fine. You going to play that game? We'll play the game. Yeah. Yep. Good for them. And push it through. Have a special session and push it through. Tucker Carlson weighed in on Outnumbered Thursday on Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and it is a great point. Check this out. Tucker, you don't ever have to guess where he stands on something. Here you go.
To come to a place where a low IQ race baiter like that has an important voice in national policy. Like, who cares what she thinks? Like, she's totally reckless, and she's a racist, like, openly. I think the key to this, though, is to think clearly about what's best for the United States. Obviously, the border policy now is a disaster. To be fair, it's been a disaster for a long time. It doesn't serve the interests of most Americans. And it won't, because people like that use the magic word, which is racism, to cow the rest of the country into submission. She wants to change the population. She wants her party to be more powerful. I get it. But we're allowing her and people like her to do that because we're afraid of being called names. Until decent people like shed their fear of being smeared by someone whose opinion you really shouldn't care about, then we're never going to have a rational immigration policy that helps everybody. And one last thing, how does it help Ecuador or El Salvador or Guatemala or any of the countries from which these people are coming to have your most ambitious people leave? It's a disaster for them, too, and for us. It doesn't help any good person to have this kind of uncontrolled migration into our country. I don't care whatever that woman's name is thinks, and no one should care what she thinks.
Exactly. No one should care what Ocasio-Cortez says or thinks. She's a dim bulb, and she likes to think she's important, but she ain't. She ain't. 850-771-0049. What else? On the maybe they should read the bill before they give their opinions. What does that mean? What does that mean, Donna? Explain that. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and state lawmakers are working on an excluded workers fund. This guy, he can't help himself. It would give ex-convicts and illegal aliens more than $27,000 because they supposedly missed out on opportunities to work and get government cash during coronavirus. Both groups were not eligible for federal stimulus or relief bills because they were either in jail last year or alternatively because they're foreigners who aren't supposed to be in the country at all. that amount of money would go into this program is staggering. Recipients would retroactively receive $600 each week when they were unemployed from March 27th through July 31st. They received $300 each week from August 1st through September 6th. Anybody who hadn't worked for the duration of the pandemic would be eligible for an immediate payment of $20,700 and could eventually receive an additional $6,600 for a total of $27,300. Those figures match the enhanced unemployment benefits that most workers have been eligible for over the past year. We bailed New York out. And now they want to give prisoners or ex-convicts and illegal aliens $27,300 each of your money. It's not New York's money. It's your money. That money that you bailed them out with. Thank you, Joe Biden. Joe Biden took your money, bailed out New York, and now they want to give ex-convicts and illegal aliens $27,300. There's your government at work. It's so crazy. How do you justify that? How in the world, how in God's name do you justify that? President Joe Biden has experienced a 14-point net swing against his immigration approval rating over the past 2 weeks. That's amid the migrant surge on the southern border. The survey taken March 26th through 29th among 2,043 registered voters showed 49% of voters disapproving of Biden's handling of immigration issues. It's rising 8 points since mid-March. 40% approve. That's down from 45% in mid-March. While a majority of Democrats approve of Biden's handling of immigration issues, 70%, that is down 5% from weeks earlier. His disapproval also rose 6 points among Democrats since mid-March, crawling up from 14% to 20% disapproval. Among Republicans, it remains high at 84%, and that's up from 78% last month. So he is not doing well on the immigration issue. Florida Governor DeSantis is demanding President Joe Biden stop releasing criminal illegal aliens and directing state agencies to notify local law enforcement every time a criminal illegal alien is released in their community as a result of Biden's sanctuary county orders or country orders. During a press conference with the Angel families on Thursday, DeSantis announced directives to state agencies in an attempt to ensure that criminal illegal aliens are not released in Florida communities. Now, well, let me say this. In February, top officials at the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, announced sanctuary country orders that prevent agents from arresting and deporting about 9 to 10 illegal aliens who would otherwise be deported. Now, there's other states that are fighting back. We're not going to have sanctuary states. We're not going to be a sanctuary state. Don't come here. Don't do it. We're going to boot you out. As they should. DeSantis is right. Biden is wrong. This is a mess. This is a train wreck, my friends. Wow. In spite of all that, this is Easter. This is, I use Easter, the phrase Easter kind of just because I prefer Resurrection Sunday. Easter's a pagan holiday. It's not a religious holiday. That's a pagan holiday. We celebrate resurrection. I love the song, He Lives. It's one of my favorite ones. I serve a risen Savior. He's in the world today. I know that he's living, whatever men may say. I see his hand of mercy. I hear his voice of cheer. And just the time I need him, he's always near. He lives. He lives. Christ Jesus lives today. He walks with me. He talks with me along life's narrow way. He lives salvation to impart. You ask me how I know he lives within my heart. I am very excited about Resurrection Sunday. I know there's an empty tomb. I know my Savior lives. And if you believe that Jesus died and rose again, it should affect how you live every day, not just one time a year at an Easter service. It should affect you every single day. It should affect your worldview, how you view things politically. It should affect how you view things personally, how you behave yourself, it should affect everything. The resurrection should change you. The resurrection should direct you. Think about what the price that was paid on Calvary, and then consider the freedoms that the government wants to give you with a vaccine. Jesus gave you by taking it upon himself. He suffered for you. He died for you. However, we don't need a dead Christ. We need a risen Savior. He died for us. He rose for us. We have a living faith. Take some time this week. Encourage your family. Tell them today, hey, listen, we're going to church on Sunday. May not know where yet, but we're going as a family. And go and be part of that. And listen, learn, receive it. And all this stuff that goes on that we talk about, it doesn't make a difference. Because eternity is what matters. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic Resurrection Weekend. We're going to be tonight at the Bands on the Blackwater. Hope to see you there. Look for me. Love to say hi. And we appreciate you. Like the video, share the video, and we will see you again on Monday. Thank you so